So you know your course has some issues. Maybe clients aren't finishing, or you couldn't get enough testimonials in the beta run. Maybe folks are asking for refunds, or you just have that gut feeling that something's off. Well, guess what? You probably can't see what's actually broken. And it's not because you're not brilliant, it's because you're too close to your own work. I'm Dr. Catrina Mitchum, and I have been designing and redesigning courses online since 2009. You ever written an email, thought it was perfectly clear, sent it off, and then gotten a response that made you think, did you actually read that? That's exactly what's happening in your course. Okay, to be fair, sometimes it's because they didn't read it, but sometimes it's because you left gaps. Gaps where you knew what you were trying to say, but they can't follow what's in your brain. And that is what's happening in your course. It's kind of a curse of expertise, right? When you're writing, your brain fills in the gaps. When you're an expert, there are things that you skip because you just know it that well. I saw this all the time in my former life as a writing professor. Students who were brilliant in the topics that they picked wrote papers that made perfect sense to them, but they were forgetting to bring me along for the ride. And it made it confusing. I couldn't follow what they were trying to say because they could see the logical progression, but were skipping steps for someone that was new to the topic. You understand how everything connects in your course, but your clients, they're seeing this stuff for the first time. Even if they're advanced, they're seeing what you're teaching them for the first time. And things that seem obvious to you might be completely confusing to them. I recently did a course audit where I had a million questions all the way through to the end. Things that, as a potential client, I just wouldn't know what to do, right? The problem is that the lesson that explained the foundational pieces that I was asking questions about was actually at the end. It was at the end because my client felt like that's when they needed to do that particular work. But that work would have also helped them every step of the way to get to that point. This can also happen in courses where the steps seem to be one right after the other, when really the activity needs to be built into every lesson. Okay, so why does this happen? It's something that's really common when you're an expert. You make connections that beginners in that topic can't make because you've been doing this thing. You skip steps without even thinking about it. You do the steps without even thinking about it because it's obvious to you. You use terminology, you use words without defining them because it becomes second nature. I have to check myself in these videos all the time to not start using the language of learning, right? Because you don't know what it is. And when I use it, I have to define it. It's like trying to remember what it felt like to not know how to drive a car or ride a bike. You can't really get back into that beginner mindset because your brain has almost been rewired by your expertise. And the cost of this isn't just clients asking questions, right? Clients should be allowed to ask questions. When the course is hard to follow because there's expert blind spots, clients can't complete it. And when they can't complete it, they don't get results. And when they don't get results, you know what happens. They don't buy from you again, they don't refer you, and they definitely don't give you glowing and specific testimonials. That means your marketing becomes 10 times harder because you're trying to sell something that doesn't actually deliver. You don't have the social proof that shows that you give the change that they're after, the change that you promise. Not because the information isn't good, or even that you don't have action-based activities. You might have those things. But if the way that you've organized it and presented it doesn't work for the people that don't know what you know, then you're going to run into problems. So, what are your expert blind spots hiding from you? Mostly spots where clients are getting confused because they don't confuse you anymore. You can't see the leaps of logic that sometimes it takes and the connections because you're already past that part. It's also hard to see the emotional journey that they're on, right? Learning can be hard. It should be hard. It should be a little bit challenging, just challenging enough to make them motivated to learn it. But if you don't remember feeling overwhelmed, frustrated, lost, it can be hard to design for those things. And so the solution is actually listening, right? And looking at your course in a systematic way as someone with fresh eyes, someone that's not up to their neck in it would do. Being an expert is your superpower. And once you know what to look for, you can go back and check your expertise. In my next video, I'm going to walk you through how to do that, right? How to audit your course for design choices, but make it impossible for students to actually finish what they started. If it's not there, it'll be there next week.